All right, we got to get to our last topic of the day. It's brought to us by Epicor. Every team knows the value of hard work, of taking pride in what you build, in practicing every detail to get the best results. But no one player, no matter how amazing, can do it all alone. Working together makes getting the win easier. At Epicor, the all-stars are the hardworking manufacturers and distributors who create and deliver the things we all need, from aerospace to electrical to medical devices, from small businesses with big dreams to growing enterprises with global visions. We'll equip you with the right tools to move forward, think ahead, and lead the way, because as the clock ticks down, you need to make the most out of every hardworking minute. Easier doesn't cut corners. Easier finds the lane. Discover your success at easierwithepicor.com. So when I landed yesterday, my first call was to Bull. My second call was to Jason, just to go over, hey, what did I miss? What did I need to know? And I said, Jason, what did I miss in the sports world? And he says, I'm not sure if you saw this yet, but President Trump tweeted about the Indians. Like, I did see that, and we're going to have to talk about it. So in case anyone missed it, in part of a longer post mentioning the Washington Commanders and other teams, President Trump said this on his own social media platform. Take it. And I quote from the president. The owner of the Cleveland baseball team, Matt Dolan, who is very political, has lost 3 elections in a row because of that ridiculous name change. What he doesn't understand is that if he changed the name back to the Cleveland Indians, he might actually win an election. Indians are being treated very unfairly. Make Indians great again. Mega.
No,
which I guarantee we will see a mega shirt at the game.
Hey, listen, that's way too close.
Hey, pronounce that.
That's way. That's way too close.
I just said that loud. I will never say that again.
Do not.
And if you enunciate it slowly, mega. See, you better.
But okay, your guys' thoughts. I'm gonna stop talking.
Well, I didn't even see that one. The one I saw was more
That
about
was
the Redskins.
crazy.
So it went on. Just there was multiple ones.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure you saw it, Steve. Take tagboard. I'm sure you.
I saw the one where he was basically threatening the Redskins, change your name back or you're
This
not
is the one you saw.
This is wild work. This is wild.
This was the initial, and then it went on to continue. But the initial post he put out was, the Washington whatevers should immediately change their name back to the Washington Redskins football team. But there is a big clamoring for this. Likewise, the Cleveland Indians, one of the 6 original baseball teams with a storied past. Our great Indian people in massive numbers want this to happen. Their heritage and prestige is systematically being taken away from them. Times are different now than they were 3 or 4 years ago. We are a country of passion and common sense. Owners, get it done.
Yeah, that's not what I saw either. What I saw was
which means he had a lot of
threat.
posts about it. Then.
What I saw was he was basically saying, okay, Washington, the Redskins are going to move back to the RFK site. Yeah. And that has been, if you know anybody that's a Redskins fan or that lives in the Beltway, this has been a point of contention since Dan Snyder took them to Maryland.
Yep.
There's a huge contingent. You think they're going nuts in Cleveland about moving the team within Cuyahoga County.
Oh.
You can only imagine the factions that exist in the Beltway about the team leaving the D.C. So now the plan is, Dan Snyder sold the team. There's a new owner. He has agreed to put the team back in D.C., which has made a lot of fans very happy. They're going to use the old RFK site. What I didn't understand was Donald Trump basically said, you won't get this deal done. You will not move back to D.C. if you don't change the name, which to me sounded like a threat. I don't know how he would control the strings to that.
He doesn't have the authority on that.
No.
I was on a call literally 6 seconds
and that's
before
going
the
to
show
happen,
started.
No matter what happens with the name.
I was on a call this morning talking partly about this.
Yes.
He doesn't have the authority.
And that's my point.
It's not worth...
Yeah.
I hate...
That'd be like him basically saying to the Browns, you're not moving the team to Brook Park.
This is talking politics.
Yeah, I know.
Like, oh my God. I would rather bathe in kerosene.
Yeah, and then throw a match in it.
To talk about this. Like, and I've said this before, I hate all of them. I hate Democrats. I hate Republicans.
Yeah, they're all slimy.
They're all out for their own special interests. They're not out for the good of the people.
Look how many of them have become millionaires, if not billionaires, on a public servant salary.
The fact that I'm like viscerally angry that we have to talk about this.
But we do.
So, like, I'll be totally honest. I didn't love the name change from Indians.
I did not either.
I didn't think it was necessary.
Yeah, I did not either.
I have since come around to the point of, like, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like the Wahoo thing, I get why people saw the Wahoo as offensive. I get that.
Sure.
The name Indians, I didn't think it needed changed.
Yeah, I'm
but
with you.
all these years out from it, I don't really care. I don't care.
You don't care
No,
moving forward?
I don't care.
Would you care if they went back to the Indians?
I think it'd be kind of foolish to go back at this point. Like
You do?
you've already planted your flag. Why? And it's the same ownership group.
Well, I
so
think
why would you go back now?
So let's say this. It will not happen with this ownership
No.
group. Full stop, 100%. If it's going to happen, it will happen when Blitzer is the owner.
I wasn't going to go. I'll say it. Zach calls me yesterday, right? Zach
Yeah.
Meisel calls me yesterday. He's like, "Hey, you think it's funny that the same ownership group owns both of those teams?
Yes.
And is there any way that like there's some sort of backdoor? I mean, David Blitzer is part owner of the Guardians.
Yes.
Minority owner.
Will be the
eventually
majority owner soon.
Josh Harris is not part of this group, but Blitzer and Harris own the Commanders.
Correct.
So I had Joe Varden, who has a deep political history. It took Joe 37 seconds. I'm like, hey, go find the contribution records.
Yeah.
Let's just see.
Sure.
And there's so much, and the bottom line was Blitzer contributed so much money to both sides that you can't say one way or the other.
And by
He's
the
a
way,
Democrat or a
smart
Republican.
business people do.
Smart.
Why?
Smart.
They're at the craps table and they're hedging their bet.
Yeah, so-
That's
but-
what they do. They don't care who's in power.
but
they
most-
just want to have an avenue to one of them.
But most of them don't contribute to both sides as heavily
Many
as,
of the successful business owners, Jason, do.
Well, show me.
I'm not talking team owners.
Show me where Dan Gilbert has contributed to the Democratic
No,
Party.
see, here's what I'm saying. I'm not saying all of them. What I'm saying is, in business, if you look, the big corporations, now many of them have a track record with one side or the other.
Yeah.
But there are a ton of very high-powered corporations that grease both sides of the aisle.
For those
That's why I hate politics.
in the
Jay.
Democratic
It's
Party,
corrupt.
people like there's factions in the Democratic Party where they say corporations donate heavily to the Democratic Party to stop certain pieces of legislation.
Among sports owners, I don't think Mark Cuban is. I know he's out now, but I don't think he was contributing to the RNC. The Dolans were not contributing to the DNC.
No, there are certain.
They have
that are-
sides.
Yeah.
But Blitzer has spread it around. I think one thing Joe found was BlackRock donated $1 million to Trump's inauguration. I don't want to be speaking out of turn on that.
No, I think that's true.
But for the most part, they've spread around to where you can't really say they're one side or the other. So I don't think that this is some big grand conspiracy thing of Trump working in cahoots with Harris and Blitzer to get the name changed. I don't think that's the case at all.
But Jay said
But it was a good idea by Zach, and it was
Jay
worth
said
exploring.
no, it was absolutely worth looking at.
He said it best. Look, the reason why politicians are so good is because it's bait and switch and it's the nice shiny object. The shiny object is the Guardians changed their name, right? Does that really matter? Because the level I'm on, there still is the Indians. The Indians are alive and well in every team shop. I could go today, buy me the Indians gear. I could get any single hat with Wahoo on it.
Gee, go to the game and count how many hats do you see that are Guardians and how many hats do you see that are Wild?
So the Dolans are like, look, I'll be politically correct. We'll change the names. But are they giving the money away from any merchandise that are?
No.
Are they stopping
No.
you from wearing it to the game?
No.
No.
I actually
Well, they
think
can't.
I actually think the name change was calculated to help with the eventual sale. Because remember, that's when they were looking for an investor. They were looking for a minority partner who would then eventually take majority control. I think part of that may have been a calculated hit of we're going to take the PR hit so that the next guy doesn't have to.
Here's
and
the
it makes
problem that I have with all
it
of
makes
it,
the
Jay.
franchise more appealing to an
You
investor.
know how Major League Baseball got political and told Cleveland, "You want the All-Star game? We got to talk about this name change. We don't." And there were backroom deals allegedly made. We're going to take that under consideration. Oh, but first step, you got to get rid of that caricature of a logo. So the Wahoo went, and then they got the All-Star game, and then with the speed of a freight train, they announced we're changing our name, and we don't know to what. It's like when you fire a coach. Well, where are you going now? If you've got a great option sitting there, okay, convince me. But if you're like, we don't know what it is, but it ain't this. And the same thing was going on in Atlanta. And this is, by the way, this has been told to me from people that are inside Major League Baseball that covered it and they knew the movings of what was going on. Braves were told the same thing. You want the All-Star game? Yeah, hell, who wouldn't want the All-Star game? That'd be great. Okay. we got to talk about this name change thing. Okay, we'll take it under advisement. Then they got the All-Star game. Then Major League Baseball said, so what's the new baseball team going to be called in Atlanta? Well, we're going to be the Braves. What? They swervy-derved. They didn't cave to the pressure of Major League Baseball. And then what happened to the baseball All-Star game in Atlanta? They got it pulled. They got it pulled under the guise that, Georgia just passed this unfair voting act,
right,
which is going to suppress voting. So they pulled the All-Star game from Atlanta as a way of saying, you're not going to change your name? We got you.
You know, it's wild. As we looked at this thing and this, as they changed the name 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago, I don't know what it is now. As you get older, I start to have the level of, listen, man, if you ask me what do you care about, the name change or healthcare? I talk about healthcare. I care about poverty levels, people being able to eat books in schools. So I don't have listen, if you want to figure out what it is, hey, go out to, to the reservations and go out and literally get a council together.
Yep, that was my problem.
Get a council together.
They didn't do that.
Get a council together and have a summit on it and see what they think about it.
That's the problem. I agree, Jason. We can be offended all we want by the nickname. The question is, this is the ultimate question. Are you calling yourselves Indians to make fun of us? Or are you calling yourself Indians to honor us? That is the root question. And here's what should have been done and wasn't. What should have happened was they should have put together a council of Indian tribes in Ohio and brought them all together and let them make the decision. Is this, and here's what likely would have happened. You know what? We're honored by the name. I've talked to plenty of Native Americans who have said, well, yeah, you're not called the Tigers because Tigers are pushovers. You're not called the Chiefs because Chiefs are easy to whip. You're called the Chiefs because you're a fighting tribe and you're going to win the game for the, So let the Indian people tell us this is truly and patently offensive and we would like you to change the name. But what didn't happen was there was money that was made on this name change. All of the new material, all of the new Guardians gear, all of that, there was money made. Are we paying the Native American tribes anything? Did we ever pay them anything to use their image and likeness? Listen, you want to have an argument about the Chief Wahoo being derogatory? I'm here for that. That played into some stereotypes that are very negative, and the Native American community will tell you that.
Yeah.
What I wanted to see happen was you go to the tribes and you say, here's what we're going to do. We're going to let you decide if the name Indians is offensive. And if it's not, and you see it as an honor, now guess what? Now we don't say the word Indians. It's gone. It's gone from our vocabulary.
Yeah.
If you think that it's an honor, we're going to do it. But here's what we're going to do. You guys commission an artist, and you give us 3 samplings of what the new logo should be. The new Indian. The fighting Indian, not the caricature with the big nose.
Right.
Like the fighting Indian. What is it? And furthermore, because we hijacked your name for years, and now we're going to take it out of the sports lexicon, we're going to pay the Indian tribes in Ohio annual checks of 10% of every piece of merchandise we ever sell from now till whenever. Did they do that? No, they didn't do that. Not only that, they've come out and said, hey, we're cool with we're going to keep the Chief Wahoo and we're going to keep all of that for marketing purposes. Wait, hold on. It's offensive to call yourself Indian, but it's not offensive to make money off their likeness? Can't have it both ways.
Last thing I'll say, I know we got to go. I'm far more interested in signing Stephen Kwan to an extension and finding an outfielder who can hit the ball out of the ballpark 30 times a year than I am over the name.
I just don't
care.
Yeah, fix that.